All right, so welcome back to another episode of the Football Minded Podcast. This is episode 7. We've been gone
Episode
for.
6.
Oh, right, that's true. We had a little mishap with episode 6.
Unfortunately, yeah.
With episode 6, corrupted files and all that. And also we took a little bit of a break for the holidays. It's a very busy time with family, work,
Yeah, a little
all that.
hiatus. We all hope that you had a great time as well. The new year is coming as well, so we're wishing you all a happy new year in advance. And yeah, let's get to it. We got three important topics to cover.
Yeah,
We've
yeah.
got the Premier League. We've had recent results in the Premier League, so we're going to discuss some of that, plus the potential favorites to finish off for ahead of the second half of the league. So we're going to have lots to talk about there, lots to think about as well. We would like your thoughts on that as well. And then we're going to then discuss the top 4 teams, which is pretty much a chance to compete in the UEFA Champions League. So we'll discuss the top 4, predict our top 4 teams for the Premier League, Bundesliga, Serie A, La Liga, and Ligue 1. And then we'll just discuss the highlights of 2023.
Yeah, our favorite moments, key big events, what really shaped world football in 2023. So yeah, let's get straight to it. So the Premier League, we had quite an interesting weekend. I think the main highlight so far, well, not really weekend. We had a couple of weekday matches, weekend matches, but really the main one that stands out to me is that Man United Aston Villa game.
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely.
from what I saw, at least, like Aston Villa came out flying, especially in the first half.
That was the half I was watching, and
Yeah,
oh boy, were they good.
took a 2-0 lead, and really, like, judging from United's past performances in the last couple of weeks, we thought they were just going to roll over, and I thought it was going to get ugly, but they fought back and ended up winning 3-2, which is very surprising.
Yeah.
I don't know, what are your thoughts about that?
It was really two contrasting halves. You had Aston Villa completely dominating, as you said. Then Manchester United. It took a little bit for them to get going in that second half as well. It's not like right off the bat they started scoring. It took a little bit of time, but then once they got that first goal, they were rolling. Rasmus Hojlund, I'm very happy for him. He got his first Premier League goal. He had been struggling in the Premier League, although Champions League he was playing quite well. The rest of the team, however, did not play well, as we saw them finishing 4th in the group. So not even getting a Europa League spot. But with Rasmus Hojlund finally scoring his first Premier League goal, is this maybe the beginning of something?
I think so. I think he's been really good. Like, his movement is great. He gets into the right positions. I think he might have been a little bit unlucky to not score. This whole time in the Premier League. But honestly, I still think United were a little underwhelming in the game. Like, although they came back and won 3-2, I never saw them as being really that dominant in the second half. They just took their chances, which is
Yeah.
which is a good thing, right? It's a good thing, but team doesn't play well. It's just it's that's my biggest takeaway. The team just doesn't play well,
Oh yeah.
and against another team down 2-0, I wouldn't back them again to make a comeback.
Yeah, honestly, I don't really see this as the beginning of something for Manchester United. I think this is delaying the inevitability of Ten Hag leaving and for this team just getting like a whole makeover kind of thing.
Yep.
But I was checking the stats, and honestly, both teams were quite opportunistic as well.
Yeah.
They didn't have many chances, but they took their chances. And Manchester United, I don't know how far they're really going to go beyond this. I think right now they're 6th place. We're talking about 5 points behind Tottenham, who are 5th, but Manchester United has played one game more. I do not see them really getting into the top 5, honestly, unless they can muster like a really good run. I don't see them going that high, honestly. Like I see them finishing 6th, 7th at the highest by the end of the season.
Yep.
And this win delayed Ten Hag with his current situation
I
at
thought
Manchester United. I think he should get sacked
I
at
think
some
I
point.
think I think he should be sacked. Like, the team doesn't play well. His recruitment is not that great,
No.
and well, they're having one of their worst seasons. Like, even since Fergie left. Like, we're going back a long time now, but this is one of their worst seasons since then.
This is worse than David Moyes' season.
It is, I think so. Like, so far, Statistically, it is.
Yeah,
They
at
have a
least
minus
Moyes,
4 goal difference too in the
and at
league.
least Moyes took Manchester United to the Champions League quarterfinals
That's true. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. They went out in the group stage, and fair enough. The group,
without a
I
Europa
feel like, yeah,
position.
without a Europa League position, and the group, like, okay, fair enough. Copenhagen and Galatasaray were having good years. They're strong. They're stronger than usual, but it's United. They should not be falling behind Galatasaray and Copenhagen. Fair enough. They had Bayern in the group. It was probably a given that Bayern were going to top the group, but to
Yeah,
finish last, that's very disappointing. So,
for any Premier League club, honestly, like there's
well,
also
Newcastle,
Newcastle, but
but they
even
had a
then,
tough group. They had a very
at
tough group.
least,
It's excusable in that group,
yeah, Manchester
right?
United, there's no excuse whatsoever. But hey, I mean, if we go back to the result, they called Old Trafford the theater of dreams, and it's not for no reason, right? I mean, when you see a game like this, it's one of those miracles that are being pulled off.
Yeah, but they're gonna need a couple more of those this season.
I agree. I agree. Honestly, I don't see this going too far for Manchester United. I think I want to see what happens now that Ratcliffe took over 25%. I
Yep.
know that a lot of fans were concerned at how Ratcliffe, who despite is owning only a minority share, like 25% is not that much, is going to be making most of the decisions at the club. I know a lot of fans were voicing concerns about that.
Well,
And I mean, also they still have their concerns with the Glazers still being quite present and all that as well. So
well,
I
I
don't know what's gonna happen
I
with
think
that club
there's too much uncertainty going on
for
at
sure.
United now. Like you had the Saudi, like
The Qataris,
it was the no, it
it's
was Saudi, it
Qatari.
was Qataris. Yeah, they had a Qatari group that was going to purchase them, and that fell through. Now with Ratcliffe getting 25% share, and Ten Hag not knowing what the future is gonna hold with him, there's a lot of uncertainty at the club. And even like within their starting 11, there's a lot of uncertainty there. They don't
Yeah,
have a true starting 11. Like if you look at United right now, can you tell me like that you have 11 starters that you know can that are there week in week out? I don't think so.
I think it's funny because I think those players, like a lot of these players that are in their starting 11, I mean, they're not Manchester United quality
That
or
too.
shouldn't be Manchester United quality, put it that way. But I mean, you put them on a starting 11, say, on a mid-table club, I mean, they'll probably excel, honestly. I
Oh,
think they would be
probably.
that type of player to excel, and then Manchester United will somehow regret it
Yeah, probably. But like even just like their
and fail
moves,
to find a replacement.
that is. But like even just their moves, like you look at like how like I find it ridiculous how Johnny Evans still plays for
I
United.
know. That was
Like
weird.
it's like I'm not saying he's a bad player. He's a good player, and he's actually he's been okay for United. But that's a guy that you've had long time ago. He left, went to two, three other clubs after he left, and now he's back to fill in a void. Like
At the
it's kind of
twilight of his
ridiculous.
career, too.
Yeah, like
So,
he's like what 32 now,
oh, he's
33.
older than that, I think.
Yeah,
I'm going to double check his age, but he's definitely not young.
like even in at his prime, he wasn't a Manchester United level player, at least for a starter, right? And
Yeah.
now he's starting for United. It's
Well, even then, when he was like sort of that starter or rotational player at Manchester United, he wasn't that great.
yeah,
I
he was
mean,
a good player. He was a
yeah,
good player,
he
but he
wasn't
wasn't anything.
exceptional,
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
So he's
Uh,
35 years old to confirm.
wow.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
gonna see here if he's still playing for the national team or if he ended up retiring. It says here he still plays. So
Oh, I don't know. I just don't think. I think they need to figure something. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that they need to work on. And I think Ten Hag has to go. Like I think he should have been gone a couple weeks ago now.
I agree. I agree. It's unfortunate what has happened though with the first season of Ten Hag being quite a success,
Yeah,
especially for a first year, you know, and now just the following year, this year, he's incredibly underwhelming. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know what more to say really, other than that some change needs to happen.
for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Now I guess we can move on to their opponents, Aston Villa, who've been having a fantastic season. Unai Emery, really, this guy needs a pat on the back. I think he's done wonders with this team.
Excellent, especially considering the last Premier League club he coached in Arsenal and how disastrous that was.
Yeah, but
It
then
started
again,
out all right, but then it got quite bad. especially during the pandemic. I mean, they really went downhill.
A lot of clubs struggled during the pandemic. Honestly, I think if you would have gave him a little more time, I don't know if he would have done as well as Arteta, but I think he would have done okay.
Well, what I've noticed with Unai Emery is that when he coaches the big clubs, like we're talking about the clubs of the big players, so say it's Arsenal or PSG,
Yeah,
he's
that's
very underwhelming. But then you put him in a smaller scale club, whether it's Sevilla, Villarreal, now Aston Villa. He's done wonders. I mean, he's helped Sevilla win League titles. He's
yeah.
helped Villarreal win a Europa League title. Plus, the following season, going to the semifinals of the Champions League.
Beating Bayern.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was quite and Juve
and Juve. Yeah,
and
yeah.
Juve. So it was quite impressive. And I mean, with Aston Villa, I always had Aston Villa as a as a as a solid contender, not for the title, but
For
for
top six, I think.
yes,
But now, well, I don't know if I would. I don't know. I don't think they're gonna really challenge for the title come the end of the season.
no,
But given the point tally that they have, you have to consider them. They're only 3 points behind Liverpool, who's top of the league now, and 1 point behind Arsenal. But Arsenal have a game in hand.
yeah,
We're recording this on Wednesday, so they play tomorrow. They play
West Ham, I think.
West Ham. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good game.
Definitely.
That's gonna
And
be
West Ham also is having a pretty good season. Only 1 point behind United. If they manage to get a draw or a win, they leap past United, putting United in seventh place, which would not be ideal. But
not at
yeah, I
all.
think there's them and also Liverpool. We had a prior episode about Liverpool and their resurgence.
Yeah,
I think they're definite title contenders now.
yeah. One thing
Um,
I wanted to look back on from that was how we discounted Arsenal to begin with, because we were focusing on Liverpool, and then we weren't focusing too much on Arsenal. We were sort of discounting the fact that how well they were doing. So I mean, with Arsenal still up there, and I mean they may have a chance.
oh, I
I'm
think
I'm gonna give them that. I'm gonna give them that now
no.
because I remember when we were talking about Liverpool, we had them. We had it was mostly between them or City. Since then, City have gotten worse, and Arsenal. I mean, they've actually gotten better.
I think we just accidentally looked past them. Like in my head, I think Arsenal's title chances have gotten better and better as the
I agree.
season progressed. In the beginning of the season, I thought City was clear favorites. I don't think so anymore. Now, are they out of the title race?
I'm not gonna
Probably
say that.
not, but it's going to be very difficult for them now. Arsenal, I think right now, like I'd give them like a 30-40% chance at the league, maybe 30. Like I'll give them 30, and then Liverpool probably a good 40, and then the remainder to City. That's what I think. That's what I'm thinking now. But we'll see, because you could expect City to turn it around given their recent run of results. You could expect them to turn it around. I don't
Hmm.
think you know they usually come back stronger in the second half of the season too.
Yeah,
So we'll have to wait and see for that.
yeah.
But yeah, it's a three-horse race, I think.
And also look no further to last season
Yeah,
when
exactly.
Arsenal were leading for the longest time. Arsenal did choke, but I mean, you have to give City credit for their run. And same the season before that. Now, Manchester City did have games in hand that time in the 2021-2022 season, but Man City were eighth place. I mean, even with games in hand, like you still have to win them.
Hmm.
You're still playing 90 minutes each time there, and you still have to pull results and accumulate points. So being eighth place, getting to and finishing first by the end of the season, because they were eighth at come Christmas time. They're first now. They finish first. It's not easy. It's not easy, and I mean you got to commend Manchester City now. They have the firepower for it. They
Absolutely.
have the
Yeah.
depth for it. They have the coaching. I mean they have everything it
And the
takes.
been there, done that factor, yeah.
Exactly.
And the thing is with City is that once they get going, once they go on a 10, 15, 20 game run, other teams just struggle to compete. Like Arsenal is not the type of team that'll go undefeated for 20 games.
Not anymore, no.
I don't think they've been like
Since the
since the
Invincibles,
Invincibles,
yeah,
exactly. They're not that team. City can go 20 games undefeated, and then when they do that, they're bound to catch up.
of course.
Now it's just whether can Arsenal or Liverpool keep up that consistency with them. Liverpool were able to a couple years back when they had those title races with them. They only managed to beat them out once.
Yeah,
Well, they lost the league with 98 points, which is very very unfortunate. But
that's
that's what
unheard of kind of thing.
exactly it's
Yeah,
unheard of. But that's what I mean. City can just string together 10, 15, 20 games and make it impossible for teams to really keep that lead.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You can't expect Arsenal to go 20 games unbeaten. You can't. Well, Liverpool can do it. They've done it before, but not with this new look Liverpool, right? So we'll have to wait and see about that.
I agree. I agree. So I mean, with that being said, what would you rank your top four for the Premier League then?
So what I think is going to happen, this is really tough. I think the hardest part is how you're going to rank Liverpool, Arsenal, and City.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Personally, I think that I'm going to go for Liverpool. I think Liverpool are going to win the league. Um, it's going to be very close. Now, will that change in a month or 2 months? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not like dead set on it, but I'm going to go for Liverpool, Arsenal second, City third, and fourth place. I think Aston Villa is going to continue their run. So I think Liverpool, Arsenal, City, and they're going to be very close in points. Like they're going to be like I don't think there'll be more than 5 points between them. And then a little bit behind them, Aston Villa, and yeah, I don't think Tottenham and United will break into the top four, which
Interesting.
is very unfortunate considering Tottenham's initial start to the season. They were really really good. Just got a couple of injuries, and now they're kind of in a rut.
Yeah. So this is what I think. If City can maintain health and De Bruyne returns without any real setbacks, I'm gonna have a bold prediction here and put City at first. I think they will get that run.
Exactly, that's
I
what I
think they
mean. Yeah, if
will.
they do, it's
Now, do I want to see them win it again? No, I would like to see someone else win it, but I think City are gonna win it. I will put Liverpool second, Arsenal third, but honestly, between them, it's just going to be like a 1 or 2 point difference. It's going to be very close. And even with City, it won't be like City is going to win the league by 10 points. Not at all. It's going to be a very close run. And fourth place, honestly, I'm going to put Aston Villa. I'm going to
yeah.
put Aston Villa. I want to see them really get in back into Champions League for the first time in God knows how long.
Things like maybe 04, 03, something like that.
Somewhere around there. I mean, and that's maybe at the latest. It could have been
Yeah.
even earlier than that. So I think Villa will probably finish fourth in my opinion. Now fifth, I think it's gonna be the Spurs. Spurs are gonna finish there. I think honestly, if Manchester United still stick to their rocky road old ways kind of thing, I think I would put Manchester United as low as eighth even.
Because the thing is, United, like, they get wins. They scrape wins. That's what they've been doing. That's the only reason why they're sixth place. Like the way they play, they should be a little lower in the table.
I know,
But
yeah.
they just somehow they scrape up some wins here and there.
Because I mean they
Like,
have the players for it too.
yeah,
They
they
do have the
they
players.
have
So you have to
quality.
give it to
So
them.
like I could expect them to get it right at a certain point in the season. Not like crazy, right? But I could expect them to go on a decent run. So that's why I think United will finish above Tottenham. I think Tottenham looks is a little demoralized now considering how well that they started.
Yeah, I don't really see that happening though, just because I don't see them forfeiting this lead that they have on Manchester United.
Yeah, it's
It's
four
five.
points.
It's 5 points, but
Oh,
Manchester
five
United
points.
did
Yeah,
play one more game than them.
yeah.
So I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible, but I don't think it's going to happen. And I think West Ham might even surpass Manchester United. That's gonna, and even
Oh, they
Newcastle
can.
maybe.
But
Honestly, I may even see Newcastle surpass them should Manchester United continue their rocky road and inconsistency.
I'm going out on a limb. I think United is going to finish fifth, just because I want to see them do well. I don't
That's
I don't
fair.
know
Honestly, I mean, when we grow up watching Manchester United, the team that they were, and now you see
exactly.
what they are now, it's just really, it's tragic.
It's unfortunate. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, so so you have City, Liverpool, Arsenal, or City, Arsenal, Liverpool.
City, Liverpool, Arsenal.
City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Aston Villa, Tottenham, United. That would be your
Aston Villa, fourth.
yeah,
Tottenham, fifth.
and United sixth. Or
No, I
or
actually
you
put
think you
West
think
Ham, sixth.
yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go for Liverpool, Liverpool, Arsenal, City, and again, very, very close between them, like
Yeah.
a point or two. Followed by Aston Villa, United. and then Tottenham in sixth.
Yeah. What do you see Newcastle in this? Because I mean, they're trailing just behind Manchester United and West
Again,
Ham.
they could be a factor to consider because it's a good team, right? And again, if they go on a run, like I said, this can change in 2 months. Like my predictions, like
Yeah. Well,
you
and
know,
also you got the January transfer window too. What's
exactly,
gonna happen there? I
exactly,
haven't
and
heard many rumors from the Premier League though. Most of the rumors I've been hearing regarding the January transfer window has been Brazilians going to either Barcelona or PSG.
yeah, I've heard
I
about that.
haven't really heard much elsewhere.
Well, we discussed those in the previous episode, I think. Yeah,
A couple of them, yeah, but
yeah,
there have been new names now too. Like PSG
yeah.
are on the verge of signing a second player from Brazil. And then there are a couple of other Brazilian names that are being floated out there. Now, I don't know how strong these rumors are, but I've just been hearing about it.
Well, there's always rumors floating around. We'll see.
Yeah, but that's
We'll
all
see.
I've been hearing.
It'll be
It's
very
really just from
interesting.
Brazil.
Yeah.
Nothing really from England, within England.
Well, within
It hasn't
England,
been too much.
because now all the teams have money, right? It's hard. It's becoming harder and harder for a big club in England to entice a player from another, let's say mid-table club within England. It still happens, like with Declan Rice and Caicedo and all that, but it's becoming a little harder, right?
Yeah.
And now clubs can ask for a major fee, and the players can ask for major wages because their current clubs can provide them with that. So, you know, so I think a lot of clubs are looking outside the league. It's not like before, which is a good thing for the league. I think. Like
I like it.
like you got teams like Newcastle now that are playing very well. West Ham play very well, and like you got a team like Chelsea who's in 10th having a horrendous season, right?
Yet when you see their budget,
Yeah, and then you see their budget, you're like, wow.
it's outrageous. Or I mean, even Everton, they have big wages
Well,
too
they got a
at the
ten
same
point
time.
deduction.
And them too, yeah. They did have a 10 point
Like without the
deduction.
10 point deduction, they'd be on 26. They'd be just above Chelsea.
Yeah, they'd be 10th, yeah. So I mean, it's
Yeah,
interesting to see,
yeah, I
nevertheless.
think that's pretty much it for the Premier League. Let's move on to. You want to do La Liga now?
Let's go to La Liga. Let's do it. I mean, here there's one story that really stands out. That's
Once,
Girona.
of course,
I
we've been
mean,
talking about them all year. Um, now,
there was one rumor there actually that I just saw. Artem Dovbyk.
yeah,
There are rumors that Barcelona are trying to get him, which is
it's
not a surprise.
yeah. Considering Lewandowski's, it's a pretty rocky relationship now with Lewandowski. It looks like he's on the way out of the club. That would be. I don't know. I don't know if he's really like a Barcelona profile player, but we'll have to wait and see. He's having a good season though. He's having a very good season for Girona. So you never know what's
It
gonna
may be
happen there.
something cashing in on the hype. Don't forget something like
That too.
Coutinho,
Yeah,
right? In
yeah.
January, it was the same thing.
No, absolutely, absolutely. Like financially, it would make sense for Girona, right? They're not really the most rich club, right? But we'll have to wait and see. I think Real Madrid wins the league.
I think so too. I mean, I would like to see Girona win the league. It would be something impressive.
Yeah,
But I think Real Madrid, they just have the stamina. And they just have the stamina to win it. I mean, they have the depth, they have the star
they
power,
have that clutch gene too.
and that clutch gene under Ancelotti. I mean, there's no better coach really.
Yeah, exactly. So I think Real Madrid. I think Girona will for sure stay in the top four.
Yeah.
My only thing is whether do they keep second place. They are considerably ahead of Barcelona and Atletico Madrid.
Yes, I'm
7 points.
surprised. Like I'm surprised slash impressed about it. How it's a 7 point lead, which is pretty good considering it's halfway through the season.
Yeah.
18 games out of 38. I mean, that's impressive to have a 7 point lead as a second place over third place.
Yeah, and now, well, their next game is against Atletico Madrid, actually.
That's gonna be a good one.
So we'll have to see about that. That could really change up the complexion of the table. But yeah, I think the table might stay how it is, on honestly, especially for the top four.
Yeah, Barcelona have fallen. I mean, they're not as good as last year.
No.
At least this year, what they have to their name is that they did manage to make it to the knockout stages in Champions League now.
Yeah,
where they
that's
topped
true.
the group too, so they didn't have to go down to Europa League and face a defeat there.
And they didn't look too dominant in their group either. Like they played well. They deservedly finished first.
Yeah,
But they weren't like destroying teams. You
well,
know what I
the
mean?
games that I was impressed with them was against Porto,
What?
who finished second. They beat them both times.
They beat them both times.
Yeah, it was against Shakhtar, and then their last game against Antwerp.
Yeah, that's the one. That's yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
But yeah, no. So I think the table stays how it is. Real Madrid first, Girona second, Atletico third, and Barcelona fourth. Athletic Club probably stays in fifth as well, and even Real Sociedad probably stays
that's
in
going to be
sixth.
an interesting one. The two clubs from the Basque region, they're going to be fighting for that fifth place. Who knows? Maybe even fourth. I mean, if both teams could really get a run going, it could be a fight for that last Champions League position as well.
It
But
could be
chances are
honestly.
it'll probably be for the fifth place.
Yeah, like that. I wouldn't be surprised if the table doesn't change. I don't know what you think.
I agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you.
So now moving on, we'll
Actually,
go.
I just
Yeah,
wanted to quickly mention because now I'm going looking at the bottom of the table, and it's a club like Sevilla who's flirting almost just who they're flirting with the relegation zone here.
they haven't had a good season at all.
Not at all. Fourth place as well in their group, so they couldn't even make it to Europa League. Now they're 15th, 3 points ahead of 18th Celta Vigo, which is the highest relegation position. Then you have 19th and 20th. So I mean, that's only one win away. You know, like that's only one win away for Celta Vigo to catch up to Sevilla. You have Alaves who are tied with them. You have Mallorca on a 2 point lead, Villarreal on a 3 point lead. So even them, they're pretty low. And then you have Cadiz. I mean, Cadiz was never really considered to be placed anywhere, even as high as the mid table.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with Sevilla. They could, if there's one club in Europe that could suffer a relegation, or two clubs, like big clubs in Europe that could suffer relegation, we'll have Lyon, but also Sevilla.
Well, I think they both like Lyon's turned it around a little bit,
They have,
but
We'll get to that.
I don't think they'll get. I don't think either of them will get relegated. Honestly, I think it would be very. I'd be very surprised if Sevilla does get relegated. I think they'll finish in that lower mid table.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty fair for them.
as they did last season. Like they didn't even finish high in La Liga last year. It was only because they won Europa League that they were in Champions League this
Yeah,
year.
yeah. So yeah, we'll see what happens there, but I don't think they'll get relegated. That's my prediction on that. Move forward for Serie A.
Yeah. So for Serie A, now we have, as I expected, Inter being first with 44 points.
Remember when I said when I was talking about Juventus in the beginning of the year,
Yes, I
and I
sure
was
do.
saying that I really do think that they could mount a title challenge.
Yeah.
And honestly, they're right there. Like they're 4 points behind Inter. Inter slips up once or twice, and
Yeah, and I mean soon enough they're going to be playing another match, say on Friday, Saturday. That's their next match day. And I mean things could change then. I mean Inter would stay first no matter what, but I mean
yeah,
it could
it's only a 4 point
deficit
gap,
could be
right?
by 1 point.
Yeah.
So there's that. We have AC Milan trailing by 7 points currently behind Juve. I mean AC Milan haven't been impressive to me
Not
in any competition.
it just seems like they make a lot of chances, but they don't finish them.
I think Pioli needs to go.
Think so.
I can ask any AC Milan fan. I have friends who are AC Milan fans. They would like to see Pioli gone.
Well, it's funny. A lot of Juventus fans want Allegri gone, but
I know.
here they are, second place, 4 points, but they barely score, man. Like for second place, they only have 26 goals, right? It's like obviously it's not in the lower end of the league, but for a top four club in the Serie A,
With the attack that they have, you would think as well that they'd score more goals as well.
actually Bologna is not scoring too much either, but
That's another
really
surprise. You were mentioning Bologna. That's another surprise.
That
team
is a
right
surprise.
there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not very fond of the owner as a Montrealer, but I mean, finishing fourth. They're currently fourth place, 2 points behind third place AC Milan. They've been having a good run.
Yeah.
They are 1 point ahead of Fiorentina, who've been playing pretty good too.
Yeah.
So I mean,
and Napoli having a disappointing season after winning the Scudetto last year.
very, and I mean, even after Rudy Garcia gone, I thought it was gonna amount to something. They won their first game against Atalanta.
Yep.
They beat them in Bergamo, but then you lose 2 in a row, and then you win. They won their last game. Like they won their last game against. No, they lost their last game. What am I saying? They lost their last game against Roma, but then they won the previous game against Cagliari. But I mean, it's Cagliari. They're in relegation position right now.
Yep.
I don't know what's happening at Napoli. I mean, they didn't improve their team during the offseason. They actually lost Kim and Jae. They've lost another player or two. And I mean, it's not like they really improved
which
their
is
team
pretty
or
big,
anything.
honestly. Kim Min-jae was
Absolutely.
exceptional for them, and right now for Bayern, he's playing very, very well. He's really like, he's developing into a really important player for the club, and like week in week out, he puts in solid performances. He started off maybe slightly slow. He was still good,
Yeah.
but now he's
He
excellent.
One of these days he's gonna win AFC Player of the Year for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think so. Yeah, he's definitely a candidate for that. But yeah, Napoli having a surprising season.
Yeah, losing to Roma a few days ago at the Stadio Olimpico, so that broke their streak of undefeated matches at home. I think they had a pretty solid streak where they went undefeated away from home. And now, I mean, that's lost too. So they don't really have anything to their name anymore, and they're just going to need to get wins and
Yep.
try and get back into that Champions League position
Well,
because
they're not too far from a Champions League spot. They're only 4 points behind, so it's not a write off yet. And honestly, I don't think Bologna is going to stay up there.
no,
I think
me
they'll
neither.
fall off just a little bit. They might still be in the top six.
If anyone between the two, I think Fiorentina might have a better chance.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, I don't know. I think Napoli might be able to turn it around a little bit, climb up a few spots, but it'll be very tough to get into fourth considering Roma and Fiorentina are ahead of them as well.
Yeah, their next game against Monza is going to be interesting because last season Napoli actually struggled against Monza. They drew on the road early in the season against them. I think it was 0-0 or maybe 1-1. I forget the exact result, but I know it was a draw. And then late in the season, they lost at home to Monza, 2-0, I think.
2-0. I don't
Yeah.
remember that. Possibly.
It was a 2-0 loss. Now I'm trying to remember if it was actually a home or away match. But I remember they lost 2-0 towards the end of the season. They had already clinched the title. And I mean, yeah, the Napoli weren't trying too hard. So can they exercise the demons against this team now having been winless in their 2 games against Monza? I mean, they crashed out of the Coppa Italia, losing 4-0 to Frosinone at home. They had their B
That was
team, but that is
terrible. Yeah,
still disgraceful. So, and
100%.
especially considering they beat Frosinone in their opening match of the season. So I don't know what's happening with this team. I don't know now if Walter Mazzari really is their man. They may have to try and get someone after the season ends.
How many games has he been in charge for now?
He's been in charge
Is
for
it 5?
5 Serie A, 1 Coppa Italia,
Yeah.
2 Champions League.
You know, it's their last couple of games in the Serie A haven't been good. They've lost 3 out of 5 of their last 5. Could be. I think he needs a little bit more time just to be certain. You're not going to get rid of him now.
No, not now. Definitely
But
not.
you know, you're right. He might not be the man for the job. But they have a good team, right? Like they were an amazing team last year. They didn't like they lost some key pieces, but the core of the team is still there. Still got Gvara, Osimhen, all those guys. So honestly, I can see them turning it around.
Yeah.
But
The new
yeah,
year
it'll be
will be
tough.
some. The new year will be something now because they secured Osimhen's extension. So at least that's sort of
Well, they secured a
put
higher fee
aside.
for him when he leaves. That's what I think.
That too, that too. But at least it sort of gives some peace of mind,
Yeah,
that at least they secured that extension and that he won't be leaving, say, in January. So at least they've put that aside. Now with Kfara, I mean, who knows what's gonna happen with him?
yeah.
I
Well, I
mean,
think his stock has gone down a little bit since last year.
it has slight, but only slightly though.
Like he's
Albeit
still
only
okay.
slightly.
He's still playing okay, but he's not putting up the numbers that he was last year.
Yeah, agreed.
So what would be your final top 4, top 6 in Serie A?
Inter number one. I still think I'm riding high on Inter. They're gonna win the league. I'm gonna keep Juve honestly because AC Milan have not convinced me. And then I'm gonna have AC Milan, and honestly, I may even see Fiorentina finish fourth and Napoli finish fifth.
Yeah, I think that's possible.
With Roma sixth, Bologna is gonna fall to eighth.
Think
Bologna
so?
will fall to eighth, and I believe that Lazio is actually gonna climb up to seventh.
I don't think no. So for me, I think Inter first.
Yeah.
I think so. Although I do think Juventus will keep up and they will make it interesting.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
like I don't think it'll be too much of a bit
Yeah.
of a big gap. AC Milan, I think they'll finish third. It's too big of a hurdle right now to get back. I don't think they'll do it. I think Bologna will drop. They won't finish fourth, but I don't think they'll be down till eighth. I don't think Lazio will catch up, nor will Atalanta. I think Bologna drop to seventh. I agree Napoli at fifth, and I do think Fiorentina will clinch the fourth spot for Champions League.
Okay, and did you say Bologna seventh or sixth? Just because,
Seventh,
so for
seventh.
Roma, they'll stay
Yeah,
sixth.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, I have them finishing sixth as well.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much done for the Serie A. Want to do Liga, then we'll do the Bundesliga.
Yeah. So as for Ligue 1, when we were talking about Olympique Lyonnais, will they get relegated again? Well, I mean, again, will they get relegated? I don't think so. I think actually they may finish in that playoff position. Honestly, I'm saying this because I want them to. Because it's gonna be a fiasco with this Taylor Swift concert. They won't even be able to play their home game. So I want to see what would happen there. It's gonna be a fiasco, and it's gonna create some sort of scandal in French football.
I don't think they'll be.
And with that being said, I want Saint Etienne to finish third in Ligue 2, so then they can play in that promotion.
That would be a
playoff.
crazy playoff.
Oh
match,
man,
yeah.
I want to see that happen.
But
Lyon against Saint Etienne in that promotion playoff will be absolute pandemonium. That country or that part of the country will be shut down for good, and there will be riots. I'm not advocating for any riots here, but I know there will be.
There
no
probably
doubt.
will be. Knowing the French, probably. But I don't know.
The French too. Like the French, I mean, these people, they can riot when they lose, but the French are known for rioting when they win too. So either way, they're going to riot, in my opinion.
So you're predicting a riot. That's your prediction.
I'm not predicting it. I know for a fact there's going to be one.
Fair enough. Yeah, yeah. No, I agree. It makes sense. But I genuinely don't think Lyon's gonna finish anywhere near the 16th place spot.
No,
like they've won their last 3 games.
Yeah, it was impressive too.
Yeah, and they've looked pretty
no goals
decent.
conceded.
Exactly. So and they're not like, I don't think they'll make it anywhere near Europe, but I think they'll finish like maybe 10th, 11th, 9th in that region, honestly.
Yeah, however, for me, their attack is a real concern.
Yeah, but
and I'll tell you why, because Lacazette is also primed to be leaving Lyon possibly in January.
If that happens, possibly.
And he's their only option right now. Like, no one else is really scoring for that team.
Yeah, sure. He scored a hat-trick against Toulouse to win them 3-0. Following game, was it... Who scored for them in that game?
Who's the guy on there?
Oh, it was Jeffinho.
I mean, Jeffinho is not a bad player, but I mean, I wouldn't put him as a prime scorer.
They do lack firepower. In their last game versus Nantes, Lacazette scored the winning goal. Now, if that does happen, if he does leave for MLS, that could be a real issue if they don't bring anyone in. But if he does not, I could really see them pushing for between 12 and 9. Maybe I think they'll be definitely safe from relegation. I do not think they're gonna get relegated or even be anywhere near. And just considering the form of the 2 teams ahead of them, Mets have lost their last 4, and Nantes have lost their last 3.
That's fair.
I see them overtaking them in the next game week or maybe 2 game weeks.
You see me, I see Lyon, Toulouse, and Nantes really fighting or getting out of the playoff promotion position. Because I mean,
I can see Mets falling in there.
I can see Mets actually getting relegated.
Yeah.
Honestly, I may see Lorient being climbing up. I see Lorient possibly climbing up.
Maybe. I don't know. I think, honestly, it'll be Clermont, Lorient in 17th, and I think 16th will be Mets.
That's fair. That's fair.
But
I think for me, it's just Lyon. I just want to see Lyon play against
Saint-Etienne. You're just hating on them now.
It's not hating. It's wishing for a game to happen. So I don't even want to see the downfall of either of those 2 clubs. I just want that game to happen. I just want it to happen, and not because of the riots. I just want the game to happen.
Right. Imagine when they're confirmed in that relegation or that playoff relegation spot, then there'll be riots.
Oh yeah, that too. They're not going to be happy, especially considering how they've been playing. Now, if they drop again, oh boy, it's not going to look good.
Yeah, that's true. But anyway, what do you think for the top six?
Top six, I mean, I have PSG finishing first, no doubt.
For
Nice are
sure.
going to finish second. Monaco third. I think Lille are going to climb to fourth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Marseille, I'm going to keep them at sixth with Lens at. No, Lens, I'll put them at fifth. Marseille sixth. Brest, I'll put them in seventh. Because Brest have been, they've actually gotten a few results, but they were at one point first, and then they dropped, and now they've been getting a few results. So I think Lille, Marseille, they may get a player or two to help. I know Lille, there have been rumors with Jesse Lingard coming in. Marseille, there have been rumors that Seko Fofana might be coming back to France to join them. Lens, they've proven resilient. They started out really bad, and now they're playing quite well. So I can see them. Yeah, I can see those three clubs, Lille, Marseille, Lens, each climb a position. Brest drop down 3 positions. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, I don't think Brest will make a European spot. I think they'll drop down to seventh.
Yeah,
But I see Marseille. I see Marseille leapfrogging past Lille.
you do.
Yeah, I see Marseille grabbing that fourth spot. Lille staying in fifth.
Yeah. Me, I'm just
Um,
not. I'm not fond of Marseille in the second half of the season. They always struggle. They are always mediocre, whether they are down in the table or whether they have the. It's actually even worse when they have the upper hand.
well, because right now they're like they've had a rough start and they've kind of turned it around the last couple of weeks. I could see them. I could see them building on that. They've won 4 of their last 5. Granted, they haven't played the toughest opposition. Like 5 games ago, they played Rennes, which is they're mid-table. Then they played Lyon.
A struggling
Yeah,
Lyon too.
before their run of form.
Exactly.
Then they beat Lorient again, not the greatest
And then
opposition, and
Clermont.
then Clermont, and then they drew to Montpellier. So not the strongest opposition, but that could be a confidence booster for them, right? And
Yeah.
obviously, there's no easy game, right? Like you see,
Not for Marseille,
like you
no.
see Lille, they lost to Strasbourg, Brest. Well, they lost to Monaco and PSG. Actually, wow, Monaco's having a pretty decent season. I could see Monaco getting past Nice.
I would like Monaco. I always actually thought that they were going to be the title challenger with PSG. It's just Nice they've surpassed my expectations.
Nice's defense has been great.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
they're
they've
the
only
best
conceded
defense in
9.
France.
Yeah, they've only conceded 9 goals in 17 games, which
Yeah,
is very impressive.
it's their attack that's been a little bit underwhelming considering their second place. I mean, this would be a decent attack should they be sixth, seventh. It wouldn't be too bad of an attack. But when you're second place, you should still be scoring more goals. But the defense is making up for it.
Yeah, Monaco's been leaking goals.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm gonna go for PSG, Monaco in second, Nice in third. I'm gonna go for Marseille in fourth, Lille fifth, um, and Brest in sixth.
And Los will stay seventh.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think so. So
that's a
that's
fair prediction.
my prediction for Ligue.
All right, now to Deutschland.
Now the Bundesliga. Well, now I have to wait till second week of January to watch any Bundesliga games, which
They
is
do
a
have
little
quite the
sad.
break.
Yeah, yeah. Which is I think it's a good thing for the players, honestly.
Yeah, and
Harry
also they
Kane,
have 34 games instead
yeah,
of 38 as well, right?
that too.
France has 34, but because they're on another break and they started a little late too, so they're still playing right now. Like they're actually returning earlier than the
Yeah, a week
Bundesliga
earlier.
clubs. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, so Leverkusen still top of the table heading into the break. Bayern have a game in hand. They're 4 points behind. Um,
Yeah, they're gonna have to play that catch-up game against Union Berlin that was shut down because of a
record
snowstorm.
snow. Yeah, yeah. I don't know if you saw the video. They had a helicopter fly over the Allianz Arena to clear the snow off the roof.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I need to see that video.
but so yeah, like between Bayern and Leverkusen, I think it's going to be very, very close.
I agree.
I still think Bayern is going to win the league. Leverkusen, the thing about them is that when you saw especially the Stuttgart game where they drew, they
That
looked
was a
beatable.
chance that they could have.
They
That they
looked
should have
beatable.
taken to extend that.
No,
that
no,
gap.
I think Stuttgart played better than them.
No, I'm saying that Leverkusen blew that chance.
Yeah, yeah, they definitely did. Bayern lost 5-1 to Frankfurt. But I think Stuttgart really proved that they're beatable, right? Stuttgart had a great game. Honestly, I think they should have won. Stuttgart, by the way, incredible team. Like they play fantastic
We
football.
got to give it to them.
Yeah, like honestly, I think they're gonna stay in the top four. Maybe Leipzig leapfrogs them, but I think they hold out against Dortmund. I don't think they're dropping out of the top four. Just the way they play so well. Honestly,
So you think they're for real?
yeah, 100%, 100%. They beating Dortmund twice in a row. They beat them in the league and then beat them in
And
the DFB.
yeah,
And honestly, they outplayed them. Like in the DFB, Dortmund did pretty much nothing. The Stuttgart were all over them. They dominated the game. They were the ones dictating the tempo of the game,
right.
which is it's a little unexpected.
Yeah, and I mean Dortmund haven't been playing too well lately. Ever since the Champions League has ended, really.
They're only playing well in Champions League.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, even in the
Like,
league overall, they are mediocre. They are underperforming.
yeah,
But these past four games, I mean, this December has not been great for them.
not at
1-1
all.
draw against Bayer Leverkusen. Okay, that's not too bad. You're playing on the
They got
road too.
lucky. They should have lost that game.
Yeah, and then you lose 3-2 to Leipzig. You draw then 1-1 against Augsburg, 1-1 against Mainz, and in between these games, you drew 1-1 against PSG. And honestly, PSG should have taken that win.
Yep.
They were better than Dortmund,
I think so as well. And honestly, like their
and that was a home game for Dortmund too.
their defense has only been good in Champions League because conceding 25 goals is a little bit more than you'd expect, especially in as a top five team in the league. Obviously, it's not horrendous. There are worse teams, but not the greatest. And drawing 1-1 to Mainz, that's a little disappointing. Mainz is a relegation zone team this year. I think they're gonna finish in 16th or possibly lower. Um, but yeah, so honestly, my prediction for the Bundesliga, I think Bayern Munich will eventually edge out Leverkusen just based on quality and again, been there, done that factor. So yeah, I think Bayern Munich first place. Leverkusen's finishing second. They're not dropping lower than second. I can't see that happening. The only tough part here is whether Leipzig leapfrogs past Stuttgart. I think it's very possible because again, Leipzig are a very good team. They play very well, and Stuttgart they sometimes lack that experience or that that finishing touch in games.
Yeah, me, it's going to be at the very end of the season because Leipzig, at least they have, when we're talking about that been there, done that factor, Leipzig have had that, but in the Pokal. So we're talking about these semifinals and finals, which are also at the end of the season, coincidentally.
Yeah,
But it's these clutch games, right? Leipzig has that factor of playing in clutch games and proving themselves and getting and emerging victorious in these clutch games. Stuttgart haven't been there yet.
yeah, no, it's true. It's still a fresh team, right? So yeah, I do think Leipzig will eventually pass them. I think Leipzig will finish third. Stuttgart in fourth. I don't think Dortmund will be able to pass Stuttgart. I think Dortmund finishes in fifth.
So you think they're going to finish ahead of Frankfurt? Because I was just about to ask you
Yeah,
what's going to be that
I don't think
result.
I don't think Frankfurt passes Dortmund. Although Frankfurt have had an okay season, that game against Bayern was a little bit of a fluke.
In terms of the score itself, or in terms that Frankfurt actually won victor
Well,
like actually won.
like they haven't been like they're not the team that are gonna beat Bayern five. Like I think the score was a bit inflated. They should have won the game. Um, I don't think anyone would have expected it or expected them to win in general. I just don't. I don't see them passing Dortmund. They might go on a decent run. I just don't see them in the long run
Mm-hmm.
being able to catch up to Dortmund. Even like their performances, like they're a very streaky team. It's not like they haven't been extremely consistent all year. They've been good though. They have been good, but I just think they'll finish sixth. And they do have to fight off Hoffenheim and Freiburg. They're tied on points with them. They're just ahead on goal difference. Again, Freiburg, I don't think will pass them. Freiburg, they tend to. I don't know. They don't create as many chances.
Yeah,
They're very like counterattacking team, a little bit lucky sometimes.
agreed. Yeah.
But yeah, they'll have to fight off Hoffenheim.
Now, before I give my prediction, I did want to highlight this. Bayern Munich are going to be facing Hoffenheim, while Frankfurt will be facing Leipzig. So these are the first games coming right off the bat into
Yep.
the new year. That's gonna be interesting, really interesting. So I want to see what happens there because that could play a big factor into what we're gonna be seeing
I think they
in
both lose.
2024. Who's both?
Frankfurt and Hoffenheim.
I think so too.
I think that
I genuinely think so as well.
I think they both lose, and Freiburg has a golden opportunity to pass them.
They do. They do. Playing Union Berlin, they've been struggling as well. I
They
mean,
really have.
it's
They won their
unfortunate
last game.
how far they've fallen.
They just it's just they were relying on their defense last year. That low block, it was impenetrable almost, or at least it felt like that at times. They've conceded 31 goals in the league this year. It's a little bit more than expected, especially after they signed Bonucci and they kept a lot of their key players.
Yeah,
Um,
one would think.
yeah, so they haven't really built on last season, and I don't think anyone really expected them to repeat what they did. But
Yeah,
at least mid-table, right now they're fighting they're fighting to escape relegation. They're only 3 points
agreed.
ahead, but they have a game in hand. It's against Bayern though, so you know.
Yeah. So now I'll give my 2 cents on the final four. So I'm gonna put Leverkusen. I'm riding on that wave. I think Leverkusen are going to edge out Bayern Munich to win that title. It's not gonna be easy, and it will be close. It will not be a walk in the park.
I think that their next game against each other might decide it.
It'll be big. It'll be big, and yes, as you said, there's a very good chance that it will decide the league. And whoever doesn't finish first is going to finish second.
Yeah.
So I would say in that case, Bayern finishes second. I think their streak is going to end, hopefully, because I mean, just for the sake of
11
diversity,
years.
it is a long time. It is a long time, and I hope it's coming. And then I'm going to put Leipzig in third as well. Stuttgart, I'm going to put in fourth. And honestly, I'm going to put Frankfurt fifth and Dortmund sixth.
Think so?
Yeah, that's going to be my sort of second hot take, I guess, in these top six.
Fair enough. Yeah. It's very possible. I just don't like the Bayern one.
That's understandable as a Bayern fan. I mean, I can see that.
Because honestly, man, Bayern and Leverkusen have been honestly, Bayern has had a good year. In the Bundesliga, 12 wins, 2 draws, 1 loss. It's a very solid season considering past seasons. Like any other season, we're first place by at least 5 points.
It's just because Leverkusen has been exceptional. No losses in any competitions, even in Europa League.
Yeah, they've been insane. But then again, I think lately we've seen that they are beatable. They're not an invincible team. And I think sooner or later, some team is going to catch them sleeping.
It's a matter of time on who's going to beat them first.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think Bayern will beat them when they face each other, but I think some team will catch them sleeping eventually. I don't know which team that will be. In the Bundesliga, it's very unpredictable.
Yeah.
So, you got teams like Wolfsburg that are, they're prone to beating big teams. Gladbach as well. So yeah.
Yeah. January 20th, they're playing Leipzig. Leipzig.
That's a big
February
game.
6th, they're hosting Stuttgart. Then the game after that on the 10th. So not even a week later. Oh, no, but the Stuttgart game, that's Pokal. Never mind. Then on the 10th, so not even a week after that Pokal game, they're playing Bayern Munich at home. So those are going to be the key games.
For sure. And Bayern, no Pokal game. They'll be well rested. Sadly, they got eliminated. Actually,
it'll be preparation for Champions League, that game against Leverkusen.
Yeah. No, it's true. Yeah. Sandhausen made it to the next round again. They beat Frankfurt, I think.
That's amazing.
So third division team now.
That's amazing.
I think that's the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
So the third division team in the quarterfinals. It's quite impressive, honestly. They just, man. I saw their game against Bayern and against Frankfurt. They just run.
Yeah.
They don't
the energy,
stop
they got
running.
The work ethic.
Yeah. No, seriously. Yeah. Those players must be dead the next day.
Oh, probably.
But yeah, so I think that's pretty much it for our predictions section.
Yeah.
So if you guys agree or disagree, let us know. We'd love to hear your thoughts and feedback.